Bringing back the 80s at the DJC Collectibles Studio, I'm Midwest professional wrestling legend Gage Octane. And now, here's a guy who rocked the Casbah on 2 different occasions, Kyle Peterson.
Welcome everyone, Kyle here with the extra vivacious, ready for the holiday Angie, my co-host, as it is the Kyle Peterson Show, episode number 35. Angie, tell everyone hello.
Hello.
Hello, Angie.
Hello.
How are you doing today? You're doing a lot better than me, and we're going to get into that, aren't we? Yeah, of course, because this is our special Thanksgiving episode here today, Angie, and we got a lot of Thanksgiving themes to talk about, a lot of Thanksgiving stuff to go through. So get your list together. We'll do some of that. We'll do some Toy of the Week, all kinds of fun stuff here. But Angie, we got a lot going on this week. And you had a good week. I didn't have a very good week. Would you say I had a worse week than you?
Yeah.
I would think that is fair. And like I said, we're going to get into it. But before we get into it too far, I got to thank the sponsor of the Kyle Peterson Show. It is DJC Collectibles. Use discount code 8OFFDJC to save 8% off your entire order, and you're going to see some stuff from them the next couple of weeks in weekly purchases, as they got a ton of Hasbro stuff. Hasbro not messing around, sending all their January stuff early. It's a wild thing. If you're a toy collector, you know what you're dealing with there. It's a wild time. But Angie, we're also in the holiday season here. This officially kicks off this week. It's the Thanksgiving week. It kicks off the season, does it not?
It's crazy.
It is. How are you feeling about Thanksgiving this year?
I'm just glad we don't have to host, because it's just sneaky. It's just creeping up on us.
It's creeping.
And I would be crying if I had to do a whole
We're going to go to my dad's.
spread.
We're going to my dad's house, so we'll see. But you're going to make a couple of things. What are you going to make?
I'm going to make stuffing and cranberry sauce.
Okay.
So we can make some Bobby subs for leftovers. Because we always have so much turkey left over, and then nothing like good to make it. So I thought,
so you're
we could
copying
make some sandwiches.
You're going to copy Capriati's. You're going to try homemade.
I feel like everybody's copying it these days.
I know there's a lot of those places with those, and they are very good. Check it out, the Bobby at Capriati's. If you've never had it, but every time I go there, I'm torn. Do I get it cold or do I get it warm? I never know, and I think I usually get it warm every time. And I always think I get it cold, but I never get it cold. I don't know. It's a whole thing.
You know you don't get it with the mayo, though.
Yeah,
no
get that mayo. No mayo. Hold that mayo.
Get that white cream.
I don't like white cream, white sauce. I hold that just for Angie. She's the only one that likes that kind of stuff, Angie. Am I correct? Yes.
I'm not really liking mayo in my old age either.
I didn't like it in my young age. I never
sour
liked
cream, weird. I used to love sour cream. Now I'm not really eating it anymore either.
For some reason, I loved sour cream until I was like 10 years old, and then I said no more of that either. So I don't know. Tastes change as you get older. That's what happens. They say a lot of food allergies come as you get older, and I am fighting that every single day. It's like I'm allergic to a different fruit every single day. It's just crazy being an old man. But we're going to get into old man stuff here, aren't we, Angie?
Oh my God.
Because we're going to bring the comedy down. Like we're at 100 right now. We're going to bring it down to like a negative 100 right here. This was a tough week. Now, it was a crazy week. It is Thanksgiving, so we should be thankful we're even here doing this review, I guess is what we should be thankful for. But let's see. A week ago or so, 2 weeks ago, what is time once again? 2 weeks ago or so. We'll just call it that.
Sure.
We'll call it that. I went to the doctor.
Yes, but you never do. I had to drag you there.
I never go to the doctor. And unfortunately, the doctor didn't give a very good diagnosis for me. Angie's laughing. She's like, oh, I can't wait to inherit all that money coming my way. But unfortunately, the doctor looked me straight in the eye and no joking, no real good bedside manner here and said, Kyle, you have cancer. It was like, okay. All right, I have cancer, and she says, you got 6 to 60 years to live, is what she said. And I was like, 6 to 60, well, that's pretty good. I mean, 60, do the math.
I like those odds.
I'll take 60, but I don't know. We'll see what ends up happening there. But unfortunately, it is true, Angie. They told me, you were in the room.
Yep.
You were in the room, so we're bringing it down.
I was holding your hand.
We're bringing it down, and the tears were flowing like wine from Angie, of course. No, Angie didn't even shed any emotion. No. Nothing. And neither did I. I just sat there just kind of ticked off. And she's like, you knew you had cancer. And I was like, what? So it's tough, other cancer patients out there and stuff. They can relate to me here. But obviously this was not like colon cancer, brain cancer, or any of those kind of cancers. It was, of all cancers, Angie, it was skin cancer. Yes, skin cancer. And I'm going to say right now, probably the most deadly cancers. Is that right?
Well, it's your largest organ.
It is my largest. It's my second largest organ. Is my,
Oh God, what are you saying?
That's my second largest, actually.
Oh God.
But unfortunately, they said, Kyle, you have skin cancer. And I couldn't believe it. I said, oh my gosh, you got to be kidding me. And I said, how much time do I have? And that's where I got the 6 to 60 years. So it was all good there. But Eagle Eye viewers of the channel, I do so much content. I get ahead so far. Nobody even knew that I took like a week and a half off of recording videos here. And honestly, Angie, I wasn't going to tell anybody about this. I said, I don't want anybody to know. Mm-hmm. I don't want anybody to know because I don't want anybody's pity. That's the last thing I want.
You know what's funny? That right now, as of right now, my mom doesn't know. But you're telling all their viewers.
I didn't tell anybody because I don't want everybody's pity. I don't want people thinking bad of me. And I'm the kind of guy that, like, if I do get like a terminal illness, nobody's going to know. It's just one day Kyle dies and there it is. Because I don't want people saying, oh, Kyle, I'm thinking about you. Because I don't want it to be awkward for you. Let's say you, Joe Schmo out there in the audience, or any family member ever saying, oh, I feel bad for you, Kyle. It's like, I don't want to put them through that. And then I don't want to have to hear, like, yeah, it sucks. I'm dying. Yeah, you know how it feels. Yeah. And then, you don't know how I'm feeling. I'm dying here soon. But I didn't really want anybody to know. So I guess you can tell people if you want to now, Angie. I guess. I don't want to. And I wasn't going to say anything about it until the day of the surgery. And the doctor there was like, you need to, and we'll get into this whole rigmarole here. I guess I'm just going to spill my guts here today. But I'll walk it back here. I wasn't going to tell anybody, but she kind of convinced me to, the doctor. So yeah. I don't like talking about it. I like joking around. I like joking around better. But so basically went to the doctor and they're like, yeah, pretty sure that's cancer. You're in big trouble here. And then like it took like a week and then they get back and, oh yeah, that's cancer. Oh yeah, that's cancer. And like she knew right then and there. So I was already had it in my mind that I had it. And I kind of joked. Now, how did I know I have cancer? That's the thing. How did I know? Well, I have a beard. I don't know if some of you guys know that. And then in my sideburn, and we'll get to this side of the face in a little bit. In my sideburn, I had just a little bit of like a scab. Just a little scab. And it was just kind of like, didn't go away.
Honestly,
and
we thought it was an ingrown hair for like years or something.
So like, it wasn't that big of a deal, but it was just a little scab there. And it was like, the scab would come off. I'm like, oh, okay, the scab fell off. Now it's going to heal. And then it would come back. And like, it didn't really hurt. It didn't do anything. It was just kind of there. And it was in my sideburn. And didn't think anything. But then Angie said, we got to get this checked out or something. So she made the appointment because
you would have never gone. You'd still be walking around with it.
No. I'm terrible. I do a lot of stuff, work and all this kind of stuff. But as far as going to the doctor and the dentist and the eye doctor, this is the one that keeps me on the paces for that. And you could probably do a better job, in all honesty. But
yeah, I did let it sit on your face for a year.
Yeah.
And it probably tripled in size.
So anyways, yeah. So I did go, and that's where they told me. They gave me the diagnosis, and then I waited, and then they scheduled it, and they're like, yeah, we're going to get you in for surgery and all this stuff. And, I got in there, went in the old surgery place and sat there, and I was with a bunch of old people in that old couple there. I was like, and I just hate it. I just hate this kind of thing. I'm sitting there in the waiting room there, you and me, and then there's like our doppelgangers from like 40 years from now sitting there across from us. And I remember I said to you, is this our future? Is this us?
We're already there.
And then like this guy's walking, like you can tell he's got a bad back, and that's where I'm like, yeah, this is the future is now. It's Dippin' Dots right now.
Oh my God.
But anyways, they're like, oh yeah, Kyle, come on in. And they sent us this nice room. They pulled the shade up, get a look at a beautiful city skyline, something like that. I don't know. But so I'm sitting there, and then like they come in and out, and they check it, they prep it. But the worst part of this was, for like the week leading up to surgery, they're bombarding me with text messages, phone calls, and just saying, hey, did you make sure you shaved? Did you make sure you shaved? And got to get rid of the beard. Got to get rid of the beard. And I'm like, why do I have to get rid of the whole beard if it's only just over here? If it's only on one side of my face, why do I got to get rid of this whole beard? And I'm like fighting with the nurse on the phone. I'm like, I don't understand. And like, she's probably thinking like, why would this guy want half a beard? But I'm like, I think I can get away with just a little bit of action here. And, if you're watching this, you can kind of see you're picking up on it a little bit. But
just for reference, it was about the size of a dime with like all the spreading under the beard.
Yeah, it rapidly spreaded recently, so that's why.
So it was like the size of a pencil eraser at first, and then it went to about the size of a dime by the time we took care of it.
It was hard. And especially someone like me that really relies on my looks every single day. It's a scary thought process. We're old trolls like Angie. It doesn't matter so much. But for me, I mean, this is my moneymaker.
God, you're so lucky it wasn't right in here.
Oh, can you imagine if I had like a... But now I'm looking
the
like...
nose, when people have to do the nose. Oh my God.
Let's get back to me. Let's get back to me and my horrificness, because I'm looking like Frankenstein is what I'm looking like right now. And people can't see it. But,
oh my God.
but I go in there, and they get me all prepped and all this stuff. And, they come in there and they're like, well, we're going to cut it out and then we're going to test it. And then we're going to see if there's more cancer in there. And then we'll have another surgery. So they stuck like 10 needles in my face to numb it all up.
It was gnarly.
It was gnarly. And Angie had a front row scene for it all. She took some pictures.
Yeah, it was weird. They let me in there. Maybe just because they didn't put you out, I guess.
I don't know. They said, did you wash your hands today? And they took your word. It was like the honor system. Like, did you really wash them? You better have washed them. We don't need any germs in this room here. We need to keep this as sterile as possible for my future life. But the lady was nice. That was like the nurse. She was nice enough, young nurse and stuff. And I'm just sitting there and like, I'm not talking to these things. I don't want to talk. I don't want to jibber jabber with anybody. Talk to my wife if you want to talk to somebody. I don't want to discuss. I want to get in and out of here as fast as possible. I don't want to be here. So I'm just sitting there and I'm just like, none. Yeah, okay, yeah. I'm trying to be as nice as I can be. But this is the last place in the world I want to be. I got deals. I got spreadsheets to do. I got a lot of stuff on my mind here. But so I'm sitting there doing it. She gets me all prepped. And then the doctor comes in there. She was real nice too. Older lady. She's been through it 100 times. And, I said, you've done this before, right? And she's like, yeah. She goes, and then she had a good joke in there where she said she was watching some YouTube videos last night just to refresh on how to do this. So I felt good about that. But then she's like, of course, you're Kyle Peterson from YouTube fame. And I said, yeah, podcast, YouTube. Well, I'm a Renaissance man. Bread Jesus. Depends on where I'm at, really. And she said that, and she said that, you should really talk to people and tell people about this to get checked, because nobody's getting checked anymore. And it's real bad. And you can survive from this cancer. You can move on to another day. But if you let it go too long, like you did, Kyle, it can spread, get in your brain, get all this kind of stuff. And it's a bad road. And I immediately knew, once they said it was, why I got this skin cancer here. Because once upon a time, young Kyle, straight out of college, for years, on the road as a salesman, throughout states, driving down the highways and the byways, Angie.
Just grinding.
And just grinding. Like, I'm a grinder. What can I say? Firsthand. But driving down the streets and the interstate, and the sun beating on this side of my face constantly as I'm driving. The sun just hit me. And I remember many days like, oh my gosh, that sun. I always have my Ray-Bans or aviators on, but doesn't matter. So I guarantee that's what it is from. And of course, not wearing sunscreen. I don't wear sunscreen when I'm driving down the road. Like, come on, what are we doing? But these doctors there sit there and they tell you should wear sunscreen every time you go outside. In the winter, it doesn't matter. And I'm just like, can you be that? I mean, am I going to do sunscreen that much? I mean, I don't know. So anyways, she's in there doing the surgery. She takes out a big chunk, and I'm not paying attention. I'm not looking. Angie's watching this thing.
I had to look away.
She had to look away. She was dying. She was just,
It was just very aggressive.
It was.
She was like doing one of these, and then she was just like, and did this like perfect little like
scalpel?
360 with a scalpel, and just took this huge chunk out.
Yeah, she just carved me up and just took that out of me. And then, I sat there, and apparently I sat there, and like, it's all numb, so I can't feel anything.
Oh, and you were so wonky on your side, too, because...
Oh, yeah.
And you looked like your back was like all messed up.
It wasn't good. But, I just mentally went somewhere else. I went to my happy place. It was
basically like a dentist chair, but like imagine having to lay on a dentist chair on your side when it's like bent.
And they're like...
He was like...
Well, and then she's like, do you need a pillow?
It wasn't even a bed. It was like...
She goes, do you want a pillow and blanket? I just looked at her like, what? A blanket? What do I need a blanket
for? Would have got a blanket. Because when you're in that, like, I don't know if your adrenaline spikes, but you, like, get chills. Like, you get cold even if you're not cold.
I went to my happy place. I was sitting there with the Swedish bikini team is where I was in my happy place. Just living the life out in Sweden. That's what I was doing. But I'm sitting there, and she's carving away. And you can feel it, but you can't feel it. It's kind of one of those things. It's because your face is all numbed up and stuff. And but apparently she's just going crazy getting a big chunk out of there. And apparently she did. So I guess I just sat there and just like pestered myself and was angry that I was in this situation sitting there. And how long? Like an hour we had to wait, I think, in there, like 45 minutes. And then they tested it and all this stuff. And they came back, the doctor's like, I'm really good. I usually know exactly how far to go. I've done this so long. Then she comes back. She goes, well, I got jinxed. We got to go back in. We got to do it again. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Get me out of here. And I almost threw up the table and walked out at that point. I was like, are you kidding me? Let's just call it quits. Let's just be done here. But no, we went back in for round number 2. Angie, was that as gory as round 1? Probably less gory.
Less gory.
Less gory.
But it ended up being about the size of a quarter that they had to get. They got a
quarter, it was like a silver dollar. They went in there and they just went like Silver Dollar City, went crazy, went hog wild on this face. The plastic surgeon on standby there. I was like, you guys don't understand. I rely on this face every single day at work.
Are you going to insert pictures here?
I don't know.
You should. Just let them see it.
Maybe the stitches picture.
Maybe it'll scare them into wearing sunscreen.
I don't know. But it looked basically like a huge hole in my face. Like, it looks like when you see in like the encyclopedia, you see a man with all muscle, like without his skin on, kind of like in Hellraiser or something. It looked like that in that spot.
It was like the size of a quarter and probably as deep as like 2 or 3/4.
I think it was about as deep as about a good, what would you say, about 7 inches? 7 inches or so, maybe 8. I don't know. On a good day. It was deep, folks. It was deep. I felt them penetrate through into the bone is where I felt. It was an ugly scene. And was it bleeding all over? I mean, I saw some blood.
Oh, no, you didn't tell me how they cauterized it.
I was going to get that, but it was bleeding first, though, wasn't it? Because there was blood all over.
Yeah.
But then they got like a torch out. Is that what that was?
It's the cauterizer or whatever. And then so it was like the smell of burning flesh was like all in my mouth.
Can you believe that? I should have got on YouTube earlier and said, guys, we need a prayer circle. We need a prayer circle for old KP.
Yep.
They're burning it, and I'm smelling the burning skin, and it actually reminded me of hanging out with my grandpa as a kid. He was a welder, and it kind of had that welder kind of thing, but with skin instead of like metal. But it kind of gave me that vibe, and I was just sitting there, just totally disgusted. I'm still disgusted about
Imagine if you had gum in your mouth.
No. I didn't have anything in there. I was sitting there, but she did get me a Coke. She's like, I can get you a drink. And I said, it's like 9:00 in the morning. I'll take a Coke, a full one, no diet.
She's like, Coke or Diet Coke? And he's like, give me the full.
Give me the full. I said, give me the full Coke. I need it here.
Oh my God. He's like, that was better than I remembered it. Because you haven't had a Coke in a long time. You were off the Coke.
I haven't had a can of Coke in well over a year. And it was pretty
sober.
It was pretty strong, but I needed it that day. Let me tell you, I needed it. But, so she came back in and said, well, you jinxed me. We got to go back in. So they did. And then they had to do the cauterizing thing once again. It was just a mess. Yeah, I don't recommend this to anybody. If you're looking for a good time, there's better things to do there. But I did make it through. And then I guess they came to stitch me up. And then she comes in here. She's like, I like to let the guest play the music. What music do you want? I said, oh, you don't have to. She's like, no, I want you to be as comfortable. I'm just like, no. I was like, I don't care. Just play whatever you want. I don't care. And then she's like, no, I'm going to make you pick something. I'm like, all right, well, you guys know what I went to. I said, play me some Motorhead. That's what I said. And we got one Motorhead song. So she's like, I'm going to put Motorhead on for you. Played one Motorhead song, and then it went to like Aerosmith. And I'm like, what is this? I didn't want to hear Aerosmith. If I want to hear Aerosmith, I want to hear 70s Aerosmith. I don't want to hear, Love in an Elevator. I don't want to hear that kind of stuff. But that's what was going on. So that was... She meant well. She meant well. But I was like, yeah, I'd rather just be in silence of my own thoughts is what I'd like to be. But then I felt really good because they were stitching me up as a team. And I guess they put in like 18 stitches into me. 18, or was it 118?
It was just 18.
I think it was 118 stitches, I think. I think it might have been. I don't know. I'll have to count them later. You guys can count. But I think it was 18 stitches in total. But, she was working on me pretty good. And you could feel the tug a little bit, but it didn't hurt or anything like that. And I just imagined her going crazy there. But she'd been doing it for so long. She's like, okay, now I need you to smile. Okay, now frown. Now half smile. Like, she's telling me all this stuff to get, like, the lines of my face just right. So, like, I guess I look normal. I don't look more like Frankenstein than I already do, I guess, is what she said. So she stitched me all up and then bandaged me all up in this big old bandage thing. And I wasn't allowed to remove the bandage for like 2 days is what they said. Mm-hmm. And then now every night Angie has to do wound care on me. She gets the Q-tip out. You get some like Vaseline stuff or whatever. And you got to put this on. It's all protected. But for the sake of this video, I didn't put that stuff on here. I'm living dangerously. They say, Kyle, you got to get this thing covered up for a full week. And I do go back in tomorrow, and Angie is nice enough to go with me and hold my hand. Hold it extra tight, Angie, as they're going to rip all the stitches out of my face. But it is a pretty rough scene over here, Angie. It's pretty rough. Look away. I don't want you to throw up on camera. But it's pretty wild, though. It's like it was just a little circle. I'm like, how did I end up with stitches all the way down my face? They like went from all the way down. Yeah,
it's like a 2 or 3 inch scar. I wish I would have seen how they cut it because I'm interested to
like
know how
8 inches.
It is not.
That's 8 inches. You know 8 inches too well.
No.
That for sure. But
It's like two and a half, probably.
But it sucked too. So I carved out the perfect spot in my beard. I'm like, okay, I'm going to shave this part. I'm going to shave it down a little over here. It'll match up in a couple of weeks. And then I get there, and after the second surgery and before the stitches, she's like, I'm going to go and take a little bit more off. And she went too heavy on the burn, on the sideburn.
She could have left more burn.
She could have left more sideburn, so I immediately canceled the tip on the surgery. No tip. I left that part blank on the bill. And I don't know what my bill's going to end up being.
Oh, God.
Hopefully insurance covers it all. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Or the health spending account's going to have to take care of it, but we'll see what happens. But yeah, she ended up shaving me there and a little bit more down here. So I'm not sure what to do. And I have not left the house either. I'm very vain about this. And last night we went to Target for the first time, and I was trying to cover up because you never know. It's very dangerous for me going, what?
I was laughing because you were pretending like you were on your phone.
I was. So, like, if I'd see somebody, I'd be like, oh, hey, and that would cover up the scar perfectly. That was a pretty good move, I thought. Pretty well.
Oh, my God. And in the toy aisle, that one guy kept circling you, and we thought he was going to, like, come talk to you. So we were
shout out to you if you're one of those guys. But, every once in a while, people come up to me in the toy aisle, and that's all I want to do is explain. So, Kyle, what happened to you? Get hit by a truck?
No.
Well, sit down. Let me tell you a tale. And that's what I would say. But I was hiding out, and I was trying to be very discreet. But...
Yes.
This is wild here, as Angie, I haven't filmed a video in a week of any kind. I haven't toy hunted in a full week. I don't think I've ever went a week in my life without going to a toy hunt. Like, as far as I remember as a little kid, going back to when my dad would haul me around and stuff. So that's a first. And then I've been on YouTube for 5 years. I usually film pretty much every single day, at least one video at night or whatever. But Saturday, Sunday, I do the lion's share of my videos. But it felt weird not to be in that. However, Kyle always thinking ahead. I filmed like 40 some unboxings like the week leading up to the surgery. I just worked around the clock at night. And then I said, well, I'm going to have a week downtime. I will do all the editing and pictures during that time. So Patreon members, you guys eating good in the neighborhood like a young Applebee's. I put up so many videos on Patreon the last couple of weeks as I edit all these. And shout out to the Patreon. Check out the Patreon. You want to be a part of the giveaway. You want to support the channel. You want to support a poor guy with cancer. Just an old guy with cancer. You want to support him. Head over to the Patreon. Plenty of stuff to keep you busy. And you get early access to the podcast as well. You can also be YouTube channel memberships there. But yeah, I was hiding out there at Target. Didn't want anybody to see me. And you never know if you're going to run into like an employee at Target or somebody you've dealt with over the years, or maybe your neighbor, or maybe another action figure brother in arms or sister in arm. Or, is usually what happens to me, like the hot chicks always come up to me, especially the moms, the single moms. They always coming up to me. You know how it is. And then Angie always does that thing where she walks up, oh, who are you talking to? Puts her arm around me and just like starts doing that. I'm like, Angie, you're safe. You're safe. I know. Trust me, I'm just talking. Just talking.
Oh, my God.
But luckily, nobody, and I used my daughter Elle as a shield. She had a hoodie on, and I was pushing her around on my side, keeping her there. So it was a wild time. But I haven't done anything, so I don't know. But tomorrow I do get the stitches out. I am sure there's going to be a nice scar there. She thought it'd be minimal scarring. We'll see if the hair grows back. We'll see what happens. Maybe I just go down to a goatee for the rest of my life, and I got a story here. The story I thought I would never tell. Thankfully, I haven't had to really go anywhere. There was no forcing going anywhere. I only really took 1 day off of work is all I did, which I should have probably took a month. I probably should have went on leave. I probably should have went on health leave for like a quarter or something is what I should have done. But I didn't. But Angie got to play nurse, and the outfits were a little over the top, but I was here for it. It helped me. It helped me feel a lot better.
Yeah, when I had like the gloves on with the petroleum jelly all over my finger, and then I just, did other exams.
It was weird. It was like Road Trip. You guys ever seen that? I never knew.
A prostate exam.
Yeah, there was some of that. And, that's next on the list, I think.
And then
Who knows?
Gave me one, even though I don't have prostate.
Well, what's good for the goose is good for the gander, Angie. That's what I've always lived by there. But the night before the surgery, I said, you know what? I'm going to die with my boots on is what I'm going to do. That's Iron Maiden told me that. Bruce Dickinson, many years ago, said, Kyle, you're going to die with your boots on. So I went to Zach Wild, of course, his Black Sabbath cover band. I went to that concert the night before surgery. I stayed out late, got up, and on the road by 7 a.m. That's what a true warrior does. I said, if I'm going to go, I'm going to at least go with seeing Zach one last time. And even better yet, I got tickets for $8. So that was a good one, too. But anything else I'm missing in this sad story? Now, first thing when I tried to get out of there, I looked all over. So we walked out of the thing, and I'm looking, where's the bell? Like, because they said, well, we think you're cancer-free. So they said that you're cancer-free, but we're going to call you back if it is, if we need to call you back in. They thankfully, fingers crossed, they haven't called me. Maybe I'll find out tomorrow. Who knows? And then it could be a whole nother story next week. But I walked out of that office and I couldn't find that bell. I thought I was going to be ringing a bell because I was cancer-free, but I guess they saved themselves saying, technically you're not cancer-free because we haven't given you that diagnosis. But I was willing to ring that bell and have everybody clap for me there. But instead, what we did is, Angie, on the way home, we snuck in. Long John Silver's had just opened up and we walked in through the exit and I rang the bell. I rang the bell, and that got that over for me. And I also asked the receptionist, because I had to schedule to get the stitches out, and I said, so where do I sign up for the Make-A-Wish, too? That was the other thing I asked. I said, I don't know if I want to do Disney. I've never been a Disney guy, but this Universal Studios has this, like, dark Universal Monsters kind of thing. I'd like to see that. So could you put that at the top of the list? And then, because 'tis the season, Angie, you said, what about John Cena? I said, oh, yeah. I said, maybe I could get tickets front row center for John Cena's final match. That's coming up here. It's in Washington. So I put those two things down, and I slipped her the note and passed it to her. She hasn't called back yet either. So I'm pretty sure they're probably going to give me both of those. Is probably what's going to happen. They're like, this guy, this young kid with cancer, we got to take care of him, I think. All joking aside, of course. But
oh, my God.
We'll see what happens, but it was a storied affair, and, I didn't want to alert the world to this. I could have went up there and told everybody, here's what's coming, but the doctor's like, you really should tell. If you have a YouTube audience, you should really tell them, hey, get your skin checked. If you got, like, a crazy symptom, you better get it looked at, and I think most people are smart enough to know that, but I think most people are in denial of those things.
Yeah.
And it's not a river in Egypt anymore, is what Angie always tells me, but that's what happened there. That's what happened. That's that long, storied affair there. It was just a tough time, Angie.
Yeah, and you're like literally the worst patient.
The worst, because
he's such a baby.
I have, like, you don't understand, like, the pain I'm in every single day. That's why you can't, it's hard to put your pain on somebody else to make them understand. Like, when I get that cold, you know how bad that is. Like, your colds are nothing. You can do everything you want to do, but I gotta lay down. I gotta rest. I do. But I made it through. So episode number 34 last week was almost the last episode of the podcast, but we made it to 35. Mm-hmm. Now it feels like we can make it to 100, no problems at all with that out of the way here. But hopefully I make it through, and they said I got, a 40% chance, 60%, 100% chance of it coming back here very soon. So they said, we need to keep track of you. And I said, doctor, I know what you're up to. I know what this face does to the ladies.
You got to do skin checks for life now.
Ugh. Well, and I think this, let's be honest, the primary doctor's fairly attractive. You know why she wants me in there all the time.
She was hot.
Yeah, she wants me in there all the time, and I don't blame her. Just don't get jealous, Angie. It's what you signed up for many years ago, many decades ago. It's what you signed up for. You know that. But
I like to share.
There you go. She's a nice sharer. ladies. But yeah, I'm not sharing. Sorry, guys. I get asked that every once in a while. No thanks. No thanks. But anything else to add to this, Angie? Have we told the whole sordid tale?
No, you just need to show them pictures, though.
I don't know if I think I'll show them the stitches. I don't know. People might throw up if they see the other picture.
The open wound.
I didn't want to. I forgot you took the pictures, and I waited almost a full week before I could even look at them. And I looked at them, and
you're like, oh heck, no.
It wasn't
you
good. You
lost all the color in your face.
Yeah, it wasn't good for me. And I got to be honest, all kidding aside, I was mentally messed up for a while. It's kind of
you were
facing your own mortality a little bit, knowing that, okay, I'm getting older, and things that I could shrug off, I can't shrug off anymore. So I was in a weird headspace for a couple of days, and I don't usually get like that.
The medicine made you weird too.
Maybe. Speaking of, I need another round. But I don't know. It's a weird thing, so I don't know.
Get your skin checked.
So I guess this being the Thanksgiving-ish episode, I guess I'm thankful for, I don't know,
life.
Not
and you're
dying.
Thankful for your wife.
Life and wife, in that order?
Yep.
The other way around. Maybe something like that. But there it is. Wild week on the old Ponderosa. But Angie, now it's time for a deeper dive into Thanksgiving food. All right, Angie, it's time to do a little bit of a deeper dive. We're not talking about digging deeper into my skin anymore. We're talking about our top 5 Thanksgiving foods. 'Tis the season, Angie. We're going to start at number 5, work our way to number 1. Number 1 being our absolute favorite Thanksgiving food. And everybody's got a little different Thanksgiving traditions, and we're going to try a little bit of a Thanksgiving food in the Try New Food segment later on in here. Angie got something extra special, something we both want to try for a long time that we never have, so we'll dive into that here in a little bit. But first, let's get our foods out of the way. Angie, do you want to start at number 5?
I can't believe this, but turkey is my least favorite thing.
Sacrilegious. Sacrilegious.
But maybe it'll be my new favorite with all like making a little like with the stuffing and the
she wants to mix
cranberry
it.
sauce. I've never had that before.
But you've never even had the sandwich at Capriati's either.
I know.
She's a wild card. She's a wild card. It's like you're so excited about this when you've never even tried it to know if you like it.
It looks good though.
Well, we'll see.
You know
what
I
happens.
like a little sweet and salty.
You do. Yeah, you do. That's sure. So Angie's going number 5, turkey. I'm going number 5, ham. It's a battle of the meats there. So
I love ham.
I talked about food allergies a little bit and talking about losing your taste for food. Pork is one I don't like as much as I used to. I used to love everything pork. I love pork to eat. I love porking. I love doing all kinds of stuff, Angie. I used to love like a pulled pork sandwich. I don't like that. I don't like pork chops anymore. It's weird. Your tastes change. I still will eat ham. I still like it enough, but I'm not like, oh, give me all that ham. It's not my first choice. So ham's going to be number 5 for me, which leads us to number 4 for Angie.
Oh, God, what'd I put? Oh, mashed potatoes.
Mashed potatoes down, gravy or no gravy?
I don't really like turkey gravy, so that's why it kind of throws me off too.
Yeah.
But your parents kind of make bland mashed potatoes. So like normally I like mashed potatoes, but the ones that they're just kind of like
Needs a little bit extra salt, pepper.
I think they're
maybe a
too
little
healthy.
love.
They need more salt and butter. And
Oh, need more butter in your mashed potatoes. Look at you, eat all unhealthy. Well, maybe you might have to bring the mashed potatoes one of these years. We'll see. But mashed potatoes and no gravy or gravy. No gravy?
I would do no gravy in this situation because I like a beef gravy better.
All right. Well, number 4 for me, I'm going to the dessert side, and I'm not a big sweets guy. Once in a blue moon, I'm going to go pumpkin pie. Now, my favorite of the holiday pies is pecan pie, but a lot of times you don't get pecan pie at Thanksgiving. It's more of like a Christmas thing.
Or when we get like an apple pie, do you like apple better than pumpkin? Or
I don't know. I like pumpkin like once a year, so apple I could eat almost any time. So I'm just putting pumpkin pie at number 4. No whipped cream. Once again, I don't like that white stuff on there. Angie, give her all the whipped cream. And that's why you always keep that thing of Ready Whip by the bed at all time. It's crazy. I know what you're up to. But pumpkin pie is number 4 for me, which leads us to the middle of the road, Angie. Number 3.
corn casserole.
Corn casserole. And that is also, in a spoiler, my number 3. Now, I love it. I like it a lot. I enjoy it. My grandma made it for years. Now my dad makes it. You make it as well. And I don't know if anybody knows that. It could be a Midwest regional thing. I'm not sure, but it's corn. What's in it?
So a can of cream corn, a can of regular corn, Jif cornbread mix.
Oh, okay.
Eggs, butter.
Butter, okay.
And you just mix it all together.
Is there like whipped cream in it or cream cheese?
Oh, there is sour cream in it.
Ugh, gross.
Just a really small container.
Yeah, I don't like sour cream at all, but when you
and
mix
it looks
it in.
so nasty when you mix it all together, but then when you bake it up, it gets golden.
So it's pretty good. So it is nice. I like the corner pieces that are a little harder too. That's me. I like it hard. That's for sure. So corn casserole.
You like it hard?
I do. Let me tell you. I learned that this week from my nurse. With the corn casserole. All right, now we're diving into number 2, Angie. What do you got at number 2? She's looking at her notes. She can't even remember.
Oh, I put ham.
Ham, because you love the salty meats. Right? Sure.
Yes.
Okay, well, ham.
So
there you
delicious.
go. There you go. Okay, no more needs to be said. Number 2 for me, mashed potatoes and gravy. I love mashed potatoes and gravy.
Oh my God, we're like almost flipped.
I love mashed potatoes and gravy. It's one of my absolute favorites. I don't get it enough. It reminds me of my childhood at my grandma's. You know, my grandma's always both made mashed potatoes, always enjoyed mashed potatoes and gravy. So that's going to be number 2 for me. But now that leads us to number 1, Angie. What's your number 1?
The pie.
She likes pie. Let me tell you, I like a little pie from time to time myself. But
I put pumpkin pie, but really any pie. A little French silk, little apple, little pecan pie.
You've always been a pie eater. I think that's a pretty cool thing
I will
about
get,
you.
if there's like 4 pies or multiple pies, I will get like a little tiny sliver of each pie.
I knew you were going to say sliver. I knew it.
I'll plate it up.
Plate
And
it
if
up?
I got a little cup of coffee too.
So it sounds like Angie, people, if you want to looking for a gift to give Angie for the holidays, maybe like a pie of the month club, something like that. She would probably love that. A little pie of the month.
I'd be such a biggie. Oh my God.
Because she'd eat the whole pie every night. She'd eat it. So that's your number one, and mine's the easy one. It is turkey. Now, I'm not a big turkey guy either. It's weird. I only like turkey, like Thanksgiving turkey. I don't like sliced turkey deli meat. Like you go to Subway or Jersey Mike's or something. I'm not getting sliced turkey. I do not like that at all. I don't really like sliced meats that much. Sliced ham I like, but I don't like the turkey. The chicken's okay.
I would never get turkey on its own, but I do get like a turkey ham mix, like a club.
I'm not a fan of that lunch meat thing, but a regular piece of turkey. And now I like the white meat here. Not to offend the dark meat people out there. You got a special place in my heart here, but not as far as that. I like the white meat. I like the chicken breast. I'm a breast guy at the end of the day. You know that, Angie.
Yep.
And what are you? You like dark meat? You dabble? You dabble in the dark meat?
I've had some dark meat.
She's had it before? You
but
thought it was okay.
I always go back.
Yeah, she always goes back for the white. Oh, I see. Okay. All right. Makes sense. But yeah, turkey's my favorite, and it's a once a year thing, really, for the most part. So it's like feels special. I think if I had it all the time, and I think if it was an option like ham is kind of all the time at restaurants and stuff, I don't think I'd be about it there. So, but tis the season. It is turkey time. So number one is going to be turkey for me. But Angie, get that sweet tooth ready because now it's time to try new foods because they might taste good.
Try a little bit of this and a little bit of that. A little bit of this and a little bit of that. We gotta try new food cause they might taste good.
Angie, it's time to try new foods because they might taste good. And this is something we've talked about for maybe a decade wanting to try. Now, this is a delicacy down in the South, I've always been told. But up here in the upper Midwest, we don't see a lot of these. However, thanks to one Patti LaBelle, young Lady Marmalade herself, she's pushing her wares at many of fine grocery stores, including ours. And today, we're finally going to try. Angie, where are we going with? What's Miss Patti bringing us?
A sweet potato pie.
Sweet potato pie, Angie. Now, I love sweet potatoes.
I'm your little sweet potato pie.
You are. So now, in 2019, this got first place from the American Pie Council. And that is one of the most honorable councils of all time, as we know in the United States. That holds a lot of weight.
Oh my God, that was 6 years ago, though. What's happening?
Yeah, Patti hasn't improved, but it looks interesting. Now, I don't know if you eat sweet potato pie cold or warm. Now, Angie's going to agree with me on this one, and you two should as well out there watching. Pumpkin pie is a pie served cold. I hate warm pumpkin pie. I don't even like room temperature pumpkin pie.
This is probably going to skew your...
So I don't know if sweet potato pie, which looks a lot like a pumpkin pie, but obviously it's made with sweet potatoes, I prefer it cold. So I don't know how well this is going to be just like room temperature here.
But yeah, it was at room temperature at the store. So we left it at room temperature.
Yeah, so we figured we'd go with the control here. So I don't know what we're getting ourselves into. I don't know.
Cutie.
And historically, I'm not a huge fan of... Get it ready, I'll talk. Okay. I'll stall. Historically, I'm not a huge fan of like mass-produced pies like these. Like I like a fresh pie, a freshly made pie. Mm-hmm. This is a little bit... different. Now, this is sweet potato pie, so obviously made with sweet potatoes. Now, Angie, you and I both absolutely love sweet potatoes.
Yes.
I've loved sweet potatoes since I was a little kid, so I have to think I would maybe like this, and I imagine the crust and everything going to be like a pumpkin pie or whatever. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. But it's so weird how I look at this and I feel pumpkin pie, but I don't think it's going to taste like pumpkin pie. Now, Angie, you would eat this just straight, or are you going to put anything on it?
Well, I feel like I definitely want whipped cream on it, but I'm going to eat one bite with nothing just to give it a fair shot.
And I feel like if I gave this to my kids or something...
It smells like eggnog.
And I hate eggnog. I feel like people would think it's pumpkin. It almost looks like the gel of the inside of
it's not as
pecan.
stiff as pumpkin. It looks... Yeah, it's more like
Now, do you like it softer or stiffer?
I like stiffer.
Oh, okay. Well, stiff as a board. All right, let's do it. Let's see what's going on with Miss Patti LaBelle. Shout out to Patti LaBelle.
I feel like we're going to be smacking.
The crust definitely tastes like pumpkin pie crust. It's got that pumpkin pie spice to it, too.
Yeah, I think that...
I don't know. I feel like if you gave me this and didn't tell me
it's a smidge sweeter.
I feel like if you didn't tell me this was sweet potato pie, I would just assume it's pumpkin. And I'd be like, oh, it's just their version of pumpkin, or whatever ingredients they put in there. Uh-oh. What's Angie going to do, guys? Sample it.
I'm scared.
I'm going to clean that off. And there we go. Every last drop off of there, as usual.
Well, it gets like nasty on the tip.
That's the best. That's the best. All right, I'm finishing my last piece right here. We're going to rate this on 5 as usual. I'd be interested to hear your thoughts on sweet potato pie. I guarantee there's somebody out there watching this that says, my grandma made an amazing sweet potato pie. And I'm guessing your grandma is probably better than Patti LaBelle's store stuff, I'd have to imagine. Shout out to your grandma out there. I would definitely like to try this cold.
Yeah. Because then it would like set up a little bit because it's a little soft. Like it's a little... Does it have movement if you shake it? No. It's stiff enough.
I don't know if I didn't think this would be good. I don't know if I thought it would be bad.
You'd think it'd be a little better because like if you just ate like raw pumpkin, that would be like nasty.
No, it'd be delicious.
Really?
Like, in this the pie filling?
Yeah. Have you ever ate just a can of pumpkin
Yeah.
plain? Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I would
pie
think a
fillings.
sweet potato would have better flavor than a pumpkin.
I'm fine with this. I mean,
It's good.
I think historically I prefer pumpkin pie just because I've been beaten over the head with that for many a Thanksgiving, but
We can tell like the seasoning and like the layout. It's probably got like that sweetened condensed milk and...
I could deal with this in a pinch. And Patti LaBelle making it nice for us, that smiling face of hers. And I remember when this first came out years ago, it was really hard to find. What, you're supposed to bake it?
Oh no, for that just baked flavor.
Oh, so you can
So
bake
you
it.
can warm it up if you want. You bet you were just eating it raw.
So I guess somebody out there is better expert on sweet potato pie. Is it better cold? Is it better room temperature? Is it better warm? Now, I don't know if I would like this warm. I like an apple pie warm. Oh, yeah, I do. A cherry pie, I like that warm. Triple berry raspberry pie, that's probably my all-time favorite. But pumpkin I like cold, and I feel like I'd like this cold as well. But maybe we got to try it all. Maybe we got to run the sweet potato gamut. Maybe we got to run the train on Patti LaBelle.
They run the train on this.
I'll run it on her. Why not? Why not? But I got to say, what do you think out of 5?
3.75.
I'm going to go 3.5 right in the middle of the road, too. Now, I don't know any different. So I've never had sweet potato pie. So this could be okay, but I grab a different one that's like your grandma made, your grandma out there. Maybe it could be just a life changer. So I don't know, but I don't know. It's kind of what I guessed. I don't know. It's fine. It's fine for what it is, especially being like store-bought, mass-produced, sitting on a shelf in a bakery. Pretty darn good, I will say. So
Yeah.
Miss Patty getting it done. Not a bad day at the old Miss Patty office here. But now, Angie, it's time to move on to the next segment. It's time for Figure of the Week. Angie, it's time for Figure of the Week, and per Thanksgiving, I figure we do a Thanksgiving Figure of the Week. Really the only time of the year I would do this figure. No, it's not the gobbledygooker. The real ones know all about the gobbledygooker. Angie, do you know about the gobbledygooker?
Oh, no.
I'll fill you in on the backstory. You'll be amazed. We'll sit down here tonight, maybe over a bowl of chili for dinner, and we'll...
And some sweet potato pie.
And I'll tell you the tale of one gobbledygooker. But the Figure of the Week this week, we're doing a Thanksgiving. Check it out, of course. I guess you're watching this before Thanksgiving. You'll get the full review Thanksgiving Day on Kyle Peterson 2.0. What are you doing? If you haven't subscribed to my other YouTube channel yet, what the heck are you waiting for? Make sure you subscribe, as you'll be able to get the review of the John Carver Thanksgiving No Leftovers edition figure. And Angie, have you ever heard of John Carver?
Yes.
Have you heard of the Thanksgiving movie meeting?
Massacre?
I can't talk.
No.
It's a movie. Eli Roth did it a couple years ago, and I will say not the greatest movie. I had high hopes. It wasn't that good. There was a Black Friday scene, like just picture a Walmart where everybody's trying to get in, and people get crunched and stampeded and died, and it's a bloody mess.
The good old days.
Waiting in line for a Power Wheel Jeep for your daughter at midnight. Oh, that was the good old days for us back in the day. But it's an okay movie. It's worth watching maybe around Thanksgiving. Now, they've threatened a Thanksgiving 2. It has not come to fruition yet. But if you have the original John Carver figure, which of course I have that as well, from Thanksgiving last year, so 2 years in a row, it's becoming a Thanksgiving tradition here on Kyle Peterson 2.0 as we unbox Thanksgiving figures. Basically, for the most part, the same figure. So if you got this one, you probably don't need this one. This one has a few extra fun accessories, like a turkey carver.
What's in his mouth?
He's got
It's like a mic.
It is. So it's like one of
It's
those
like a
guys,
headset.
one one of those guys at like the fair that's pushing his wares. Like, I'm making this, and he's got the headset on. So we got that, and then you get the fancy Thanksgiving apron with this one here.
Oh.
So it's one of those things where I like my NECA horror figures. You guys know that from the channel if you watch it, and please subscribe once again. But I had to get it because it was 'tis the season. It kind of got you. If this came out and I saw it on the shelf in March, I'd be like, I'm not getting that. But then you get it around Thanksgiving.
Gotcha.
It feels right. I picked it up over at Jay's Toys and Games. Head over there. Use code Kyle. Save some money on that. But I had to pick that one up. A Thanksgiving figure.
Gotta do it.
I'm here for that. I'm
You should
here
have
for
worn your
that.
Thanksgiving shirt. Have you worn that on the channel yet?
During this review.
Okay.
And it's always, and I wear my Thanksgiving shirt and people are always offended. There's always
a Mastodon shirt? Or
It
what
is the
that?
band Mastodon. It's a Thanksgiving shirt. And every year, I guess, watch the video and see if you're offended. Every year somebody says how offensive the shirt is.
Oh,
when
yeah.
It's satire.
Because there's pilgrims and...
Yeah, check out the shirt, check out the review, up now on Patreon if you're a Patreon member. It is what it is, but there's always every year somebody like, I'm offended by your shirt. And I said, well,
stole my land.
Take your offenses and keep on walking. That's what I'll say. So
That's what I always say, because people think I'm Indian. You stole
They
my
do.
land, you stole my land.
You're my little Pocahontas. You know, we'll show you later.
Pocahontas.
There you go. There you go. But yeah, Angie, they always think, people always think you're Native American, or is she from Spain? España. Okay. And then occasionally you got that one, is she from Alaska? That's what that one guy is. Is she an Eskimo? I said, no.
I can see that.
No.
I could get those, cool tattoos they get on their face.
Eskimos don't get tattoos
Oh,
on
they
their
don't?
faces. That's the Samoans, I think. I don't know.
No. Pretty sure Eskimos.
Aborigines?
Yeah, maybe.
Going to Australia,
They're always
maybe?
they're just like the line tattoos, and they do it with the special
Yeah,
tool.
That's not the Eskimos of Alaska.
It's whatever the ones they eat whale blubber.
Look at Angie. She's just throwing out stereotypes left and right. It's those one people. Look at her go. You're going to hear from these Eskimos. If there's Eskimos watching, they're going to let you hear about it in the comments. And rightfully so. She's disgusting. She's disgusting.
One of you.
You're disgusting.
Your people.
Oh, there you go. There you go. And I'm one of you. But there it is. John Carver is the figure of the week. But Andrew, might as well round it off with another thing of the week. We're going to go to a very special album of the week. All right, Angie, it's time for a Thanksgiving album of the week. And this is a Thanksgiving tradition for me for many, many years. Now, I usually watch the movie. The last couple of years, I have not watched the movie, so I've been slacking, but I always, Thanksgiving week, do check out this album. One of my favorite bands of all time, and Angie, the band is named The Band. You familiar?
The Band.
You familiar with the band? Levon Helm, Robbie Robertson, Rick Danko, Richard Manuel.
I should know.
Oh my gosh, well, you're going to have some learning. But
now we know what we're doing.
The Band is one of the greatest bands of all time. They were Bob Dylan's backing band for a while. They were the Hawks for a while. Then they became the Band. A 70s staple, one of the greatest bands of all time. Some of the greatest songs of all time. If you don't know the band, you're missing out. But The Wait, The Night They Drove Old Dixie Down, all that
Imagine
kind
being
of
so
stuff.
iconic, you just name your band The Band.
That's all you got to do. That's
Yeah.
all you got to do. And unfortunately, I think all the members except Richard Manuel have died. So kind of a sad story there.
Skin cancer.
No. I don't think they had any of that. But not Garth Hudson. That's who I left out. Garth is still alive. Richard Manuel died in 83. But a heck of a band. I always love a band too that sings like everybody in the band actually sings, except Garth was the only one. So they would take turns singing. They played every instrument possible. But the album I'm talking about here, most people are going to know where I'm going with this one, besides Angie, of course. It is The Last Waltz, where they got together in Thanksgiving in San Francisco, I believe, in 77, 78. They played their last show ever, and they had a huge Thanksgiving meal for the audience. They invited plenty of friends, Joni Mitchell, Bob Dylan, Eric Clapton, Van Morrison. Tons of people came and sat on stage and performed with the band, and they played one last concert to kind of celebrate their legacy. One of the most influential bands of all time. It was filmed. It was a Martin Scorsese film once upon a time. So a very cool documentary, very cool thing, and worth a watch on Thanksgiving. Kind of puts you in the mood right there. But I miss bands like that. And there's still bands like The Band, but not quite there. And it's, I don't know, it's just a magical time. It was before my time. They did reunite without all the members, though, in the 80s and had a couple of extra albums. A lot of good times there, though, with the band. But The Last Waltz, definitely the album of the week every Thanksgiving. Always just screams Thanksgiving to me. And if you've never checked out the band, well, first off, you're missing out. Second off, check out The Last Waltz. It's a good start. Head over to some of their albums. You know, there's so many good stuff. So much good stuff from the band.
Well, now we know what we're doing on Thanksgiving
we're
evening.
going to cuddle up on that couch, and we're just going to...
Eating on some leftover bobbies and
Some sweet potato pie and maybe some more pie. I don't know what we'll be
I
up
might
to.
have to dress a wound. You never know.
Might probably have to. This thing, it could be, who knows? These stitches, they're not going to fix itself, that's
Definitely
for sure.
get a foot rub. It's gonna be magical.
We'll give you a foot rub. You give me a different one. So we'll see. But there it is. That's the album of the week. And now, Angie, we're keeping that Thanksgiving train rolling. We're going to Tales from Retail. Angie, it's time for Tales from Retail, and Thanksgiving always a special time in the stores. If you were like me as a kid, starting at 14 years old, working through college in grocery stores, you know the magical time of the holidays. And a lot of people hate the holidays. I absolutely loved working Thanksgiving week. I loved it. I loved how busy the store was at all times. Everybody's on vacation, home from school, whatever it may be. And when I was a kid, let's say I was 16, 17, 18, 19, working in grocery stores, and I was helping all over the stores, there was just a magic in the air. You had people visiting, people you didn't see all the time. You'd have kids that were older than me working at the grocery store that would come back on their college break or their winter break or whatever, so you'd see friendly faces. The stores were so busy, and when the stores are super busy, time goes by a lot faster. And everybody, back then, times have changed so much in most industries, but back then, everybody had each other's back. Everybody helped each other out. It was just a great time in the grocery stores. I remember as a kid, we had 22 registers. There was no of this self-checkout stuff. We'd have 22 registers. There'd be 22 checkers. You'd have 22 baggers. You'd have 4 people out on drive up loading people's cars. It was a magical time. It was a magical scene. It was busy. Money was being made left and right. Everybody was busy. It was just a special time. And when I think of grocery, that's where I think of. Nowadays, not so much. Most grocery stores, one thing that's hurt grocery stores, probably your area, my area as well, there used to be like 2 or 3 grocery stores in town. Now there's a Walmart, there's a Target, there's 4 different grocery stores of this chain, there's 3 of this chain. There's a grocery store almost on every corner, so you dilute everything down. So instead of needing 22 registers, maybe you need 6 at this one, and then you got self-checkout lanes, so you don't get that interaction. It's just not the same. But I always loved as a kid, I'd always, I always had a lot of pull, and I was always vocal about it when I was a kid and checking. And I always wanted to be on Express. I always wanted to be the Express checkout, 10 items and less. I always wanted to do that because it was new people all the time. You weren't drug out with all this, especially Thanksgiving season where people would have cartloads of stuff. You're getting all the people in quick and out. And it was a lot of people grabbing Cool Whip, a lot of people grabbing, of course, cigarettes and beer. You do a lot of that kind of stuff. And that was always my favorite. And then I always liked it too when I was a manager. And sometimes I would do it when I was a kid, but hey, you're in charge of sugar, salt, you'd always have the baking center, and you just constantly keep that full all day. You're bringing the salt out, filling it. You're bringing the sugar out, you're filling it. You're bringing out with the different candies and stuff like that. So it was always a magical time in the grocery store for me. And it reminds me of when I was a frozen food manager, and I had quite the team with me, of course. You know that whole team from back in the day. You met most of them over the years. And one time we had a competitor that somehow, so Cool Whip. Now, Cool Whip, I don't know what Cool Whip costs this day. You're the white cream lady. What's Cool Whip cost?
$2.
$2? Okay. So this time had to have been, I guess, early 2000s maybe, but Cool Whip was on sale at our local
99 cents.
Cheaper.
Ooh.
It was on sale down the street. So we were 99 cents. I think I could buy it through the warehouse at 88 cents. We were making 10 cents per unit is what we were doing. It was margin compressed because of the holidays. You're trying to move. But our competitor down the road, for some reason, was 69 cents. 69. Not 6.7, but Angie's favorite, 69. So we were...
Those pieces are ridiculous.
So it was 69 cents. And I'm like, what the heck is going on here? So I said, here's the deal. Okay, I was a kid still, but I knew I had profit. I had to meet my quarterly and all this. I'm like, why would I order from my own warehouse at 88 cents when I could just go get money out of the register, charge it to my department, go down the street, buy them at 69 cents, make even more money for my department? It was a no-brainer. So I got this mission together, and I called my buddy Carzoli. You know Carzoli.
Yeah.
I said, Carzoli, we got a special trip today. We got to figure this one out. We're going to try to do it because I don't know if so much anymore. And I told Elle last night. I talked about when I was at Target last night. I was on the phone protecting my scar.
Yeah, you got your phone backwards there.
It works the same. It works the same. But I was telling Elle this story yesterday. I said we walked in there, and there was a guy from our local grocery store in his full garb with a name tag and everything, and there he is shopping for groceries at his competitor. I'm like, I would fire that guy so fast if I was in charge of his store. Stuff like that irks me, but it's more commonplace than ever. You see it around too, don't you?
I don't get it.
I would never do that.
Even when they shop at the different store than it's their store, especially if they're a manager. It's like you're
wild.
getting bonus off
You're
your
bonusing
store.
off your store, and you
So
should
dumb.
support it, and you usually get a discount at your store nowadays. So it's like, what are you doing? But anyways, I was telling Elle how worked up I was about that. I almost went over and talked to the person. You know what? You're doing a I did
If you
my
wouldn't
stuff.
have had cancer,
If I wouldn't have, I probably would have. I would have probably said something, but
you know that's
it always irked me when people did that. And it was a lot less common back then, so it was very strange. But I said, all right, Carzoli, we got to do this undercover mission, and we got to get out of here, but we got to get a ton of Cool Whip, because I'm not going to go buy like 4 things of Cool Whip. I'm going to wipe them out. I'm going to get every single Cool Whip I can find. So Carzoli and I went in there, and we made sure to not wear our grocery garb. We changed. So we looked like
You're
these
not amateurs.
No. We looked just like 2 young 20-year-old troublemakers is what we looked like there. And, and we really played it up, too. It was like we walked
You're
in.
like, this is for the chicks. Like you were going to do something dirty with the girls or something.
No. That's where Angie's mind goes, of course. But we walked in there and we held hands, because that's what we tried to be a couple. So we held hands the whole time. No, we didn't do that.
Was very controversial back then.
It was. We didn't do that. However, like a year later or so, there was like a thing. It was like this, I don't know, this like, what am I looking for? It was like a festival, and couples got in $5 cheaper. So we grabbed hands, and we both grabbed hands, and we'll hold hands to save $5. We're just simple college kids at the time. Story for another day. But we went in there and we really played it up. All right, we got to be serious. We got to look like we're not going just a beeline to this. So we walked around, we went through the aisles and pointed stuff out and looked. Then we got to the frozen section where the Cool Whip was, and we loaded that cart up all the way, because they had their Cool Whip at this store was in those coffin cases that were like you reach into, and they're deep and they're stacked. So 69 cents was amazing for this. So we actually filled it all in there. So we went there, and then it's a whole thing. So we were trying to do it incognito, looked around, make sure nobody's seeing us do it. Now, this wasn't as busy of a grocery store as our grocery store, so there wasn't a ton of traffic. There wasn't a ton of people around, so that was good. But we're looking around, scanning the scene in the city tonight like a young Metallica is what we were doing. And I'm looking around, making sure nobody's there, and he was doing lookout. We fill up our thing. Then we head over to the registers. We're trying to be as sneaky as possible. Didn't want to alert anybody. Didn't want to look suspicious or anything. And we found the old lady on the end.
Suspicious.
And we went down to the end where the old lady was, and she's checking us out and all this stuff. And then all of a sudden, now, this manager that came over to talk to me, Angie, you have met years later. This guy was a real prick. He was a real prick, and for many years. So he was a prick when he was my competition. Then when I jumped over to the other side and I was with, Kraft, Nabisco, Mondelez, I had to deal with him as a supplier, and the guy was a total prick to me then too. He didn't like this young kids out there trying to make a name for themselves, I guess. So anyways, he got what he deserved. He lost his job, lost his company. This company I bought all this Cool Whip with went out of business, and they all lost their retirements, all this kind of stuff. So couldn't have happened to a nicer guy. And he's still working to this day at like 70 some years old, probably, who knows. But long story short, he comes walking over, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, I'm keeping my head down, trying to he's not looking at me. It's like when the teacher's coming after you. He's like, oh, not me. And he comes over, and he does this with these points. He goes, I know what you're doing. I'm like, well, what are we doing? And I just look at Carzoli like, what? We're just supporting your store, buying this stuff. He goes, I know you work for this grocery store. I'm like, what store? I've never heard of this. I don't know what you're talking about. Like, just playing totally dumb. He goes, I'm going to let you do this, but don't ever come back in my store ever again. And I'm like, I don't know what you're doing. I said, me and my friend here, we have a big family reunion here. My cousin Carzoli, and he's just like, straight up Italian guy, and I'm just a Swedish guy. And he's like, you guys aren't related. Show your DNA. Show your driver's license. Oh my God. But we just looked there, and
he's DNA on your driver's license.
So he's like, I know what you're up to. I know what you're doing. Don't ever come back in my store or whatever. And I'm just like, I never gave it up. I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. We have a huge family reunion, and everybody likes Cool Whip. You wouldn't believe what my wife, she does with this stuff.
We hadn't even met yet.
We hadn't even met, but all in my mind we had met. But,
oh my God.
It was a wild time. So I bought all this at 69 cents. And I remember my director at the store, who was we've told stories before over the years about, the pies are messy experience. Me having the first episode, I think, having to fire a guy. He was very impressed by my ingenuity on all this kind of stuff, because at the end of the day, bonus for the store. It's saving the money for store. Mm-hmm. It was a lot of work. So that was kind of a fun story there, but it was a wild time. You got to do whatever you got to do to survive. That was a kid that cares. Now, show me a 20-year-old that cares like that in this day and age at a grocery store. There isn't any. It's just a weird time in this world. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I've had a lot of time over the last week to think about and contemplate life and the meaning of life and what it all is. And I came to some clear conclusions here. And I'm going to run it over with my dad here. He doesn't like to be on camera, but I'm going to say, Dad, here's what I really looked inner side my head or whatever. I got deep in there and I put on some Moody Blues like you always told me to do, Dad. And I rode that astral plane pretty hard. And I came to a thought process on a lot of things. And I'm going to run them through with him. And then maybe I'll share back with you guys. So I'll give you the what the meaning of life is.
You're gonna be writing another book?
I think I have it. I think I have it all ready to go. I think I know the meaning of life. So more to come on that. But Angie, I don't want to steal all this Thanksgiving stories from Retail Thunder. You got any over the years? Any Thanksgiving, Christmas shopping experiences you can remember?
No.
Nothing? Nobody crazy? Nobody in an elf costume assault you or anything like that? Nothing like that?
I miss Black Friday being crazy though.
Yeah,
when you're like, everyone's like crowding around a pallet and someone's like breaking into it early and everybody's screaming.
Yeah, Black Friday isn't what it used to be. Now, I do feel good for like a lot of workers not having to work on Thanksgiving anymore. I think that is smart. I think Thanksgiving should be off, but Black Friday isn't crazy like it used to be. I remember I hated it because when I was a young sales rep, and Angie, I don't know if you remember this, you were fast asleep. Walmart would demand me to be in there at 4 a.m. on Black Friday to get my stuff filled, get the aisle in good shape, and then get the heck out of the store, which I thought was just absolutely ridiculous. And they would want all of the Thanksgiving stuff taken down and moved. Like if you had a Ritz cracker end cap, you got to get that off. It's so immediate that we have to get it out on Black Friday when, let's be honest, on Black Friday, nobody's buying groceries. They're eating leftovers. They're trying to get TVs. They're trying to get that kind of stuff. So it always irked me, and I hated having to get up early that day. But you did it. You put your time in. You got after it. You had all kinds of fun. Something like that, maybe. But nothing else really rings out to you on Thanksgiving. No. You didn't work the retail wars for the years like I did, though. You weren't down there scanning on the registers and busting shoplifters and living the dream there. So I don't know. It is what it is. But that was Tales from Retail, and quite the Cool Whip story. It wasn't Ready Whip quite at the time. It was the old school
How many
Cool
do you
Whip.
think you got?
Oh, I think it was like 100. I mean, I think we were like 5 or 6 deep, and then the cart like 6 high and 6, 12, 18, 24, probably about 100. And I think I wiped them out, which good for them. They don't need them. Get those customers to come down my street and pay 20 cents more. That's what they needed to do. Wild times out there in Tales from Retail. But Angie, that's almost it. It's time for some final thoughts. All right, Angie, it's time for a few final thoughts, and we do got another question this week. So last week we had an anonymous question of the week, and if you want to be the question of the week, send it to thekylepetersonshow@gmail.com or put it in the comments of the YouTube video if you're watching on YouTube. And make sure you're checking out the podcast and actual podcast platforms. Always helps to give it 5 stars, all that kind of fun stuff. And make sure you're doing that. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, the YouTube channel, all that rigmarole. But we got an anonymous question last week. We actually had 2 questions in there. So we're going to put that here. And, if you want to be the question of the week, KylePetersonShow@gmail.com. But Angie, here's this week's question. We're going to make you read it. Put on your spectacles.
It's weird the way you did it.
I know. I screenshotted
Growing
it.
up, what TV family did you want to be a part of?
Now, thinking of Thanksgiving here, a lot of great TV families over the years. And I more so than Angie, I'm going to speak for Angie right here. I have seen every single sitcom from like the 60s, 70s, 80s into the 90s. When you're a kid and you have cable, like Nickelodeon, TBS, WGN, they replayed things over and over and over. I don't know how many times I saw Leave It to Beaver, Lassie, Taxi, Mork and Mindy, and Night Court. I mean, I could go on for days. Pretty much every single sitcom I've seen numerous times. And a lot of people always give me a lot of grief, Angie, for never seeing movies. I was a kid that wouldn't watch movies, but I would watch sitcoms. 30 minutes here and there, that's good for me. I like that. It keeps things fresh, keeps things moving throughout the day. So I have a lot of sitcom families I would like to be a part of. But Angie, I'm going to let you.
This is a good question for you. I didn't watch TV shows. I watch movies. DVDs.
No VHS for her. She's...
Or no, that's what I meant to say is VHS.
No VHS.
No, we were hard on that
Laserdisc.
VHS.
I bet you were. I don't know. That's not the only thing you're hard on. But Angie, you don't have any families or even a movie. Was there one you would have liked to have been a part of?
Oh my God. I got to think on it. You talk.
There's so many I would really like to be a part of. Now, this isn't necessarily a family, but it kind of is in some ways. And what's the definition of family anyways? You could say Friends is a definition of family. Not the show. I hated the show. Terrible. But I watched it. Terrible. Didn't like it. Just waiting for Seinfeld to be on. But I would have liked to have been in that Bayside crew, Saved by the Bell back then. I think that would have been, I mean, it's not a family, but it is. But maybe I could have been Mario Lopez's brother. A lot of people do get us confused from time to time. Maybe that would be one. One I would have loved to have been a part of would have been the Brady Bunch. That was probably my all-time favorite. I had a big crush on Maureen McCormick once upon a time. Still do.
Well, they
Come
can't
on.
hook up with your mom.
No, that's the sister.
Oh, the sister.
But it would have been a stepsister, so it would have been okay. There's a whole industry on that these days. So that would have been a good one. I would have loved to have been on Lassie. I always wanted a dog that was at my beck and call at all times. It was my buddy, and I kind of have that now, but... I would have liked to have been in Lassie. I think that would have been fun.
You would fit in best with like Leave It to Beaver or something.
Yeah, something like that. Leave It to Beaver. I always thought Wally was like, when I was a little kid, I always thought Wally was just the coolest kid ever. And it's so weird when that show was like on in like the 50s. And here I am growing up in the 80s and I'm like, man, that Wally Cleaver, he is so cool. He is the coolest guy ever. Which he was probably a square back then and a square now, as they would say. But I would have loved been in that. Leave It to Beaver would have been a good one for me. What other TV shows? I love Taxi. Me and Latka could have been, Andy Kaufman could have been amazing, and me as a cabbie. Oh man, there's still time. There's still time. What other shows? I don't know. That's about it. But I would have loved to have been in probably the Brady Bunch.
Yeah.
I feel like there would have been a lot of fun there. A lot of fun to be
You've
had.
been cute up on them stairs.
Oh, man, let me tell you. But I'm sure there's some I'm missing on. I would love to be in G.I. Joe. Now, that's a family led by Flint. Man, Flint would have just shown us the way. We could have done all kinds of pranks on Duke. Oh, it would have been a great time. But any shows for you, Angie?
I can't think of anything.
What is your favorite show of all time?
I have no idea.
You always watch dumb shows. No offense. Like you were watching some witches show the other day. I'm like, what is this? What is this witches?
And then they were all hooking up, and I was like, I can't watch this.
Yeah, I'm like, what are you watching? I'm coming. I just happen to walk in, and like, what is this? And then I could walk in like 10 minutes later. I'm like, what? Are you sure you're watching what I think you're watching? And then, like, what other shows? You liked, what was that? Veronica Mars? You want to be in her family? Mm-hmm. I don't know what that was about either. I never watched that.
Her dad was like a private investigator, and so she like helped him. So she was like her own little PI.
Boy, that sounds intriguing. I would have liked to have been in Kolchak the Night Stalker too. I like the cryptids and some of that. I don't know. You know what? You told me the other night you would have liked to have been in that Sister Wives family. You said they look like they're having a lot of fun.
Honestly, I would. I could do it.
She could. I know. We're accepting ladies. If there's any ladies out there, we're accepting. So get your resumes. KylePetersonShow@gmail.com. But yeah, you'd have a lot of fun with a Sister Wife.
But I do it all already. I fill all your voids already.
Yeah, there's always more. There's always more. You never know, but...
No, it'd be really nice if we had like a Susie homemaker
Oh,
type.
she just wants a maid. You've been wanting a maid for a long time. You're willing to do whatever it takes to get this maid in the house.
Well, no, I was saying like if I would be like the one going outside like the house and working.
The maid would stay here and clean. I know what you're getting to. And the thing I always tell you is you realize we have two children that could really, kids are like dogs. They crave structure. They want you to tell them what to do. They're not going to do it on their own. So you got two kids that could be perfect maids for you, and you need to put them to work. You need to crap the whip because they don't listen to me. That's for sure.
If only they could cook.
If only they could cook, but they haven't had an opportunity. You got to train them to do it. They teach you do it for them one time, and then you teach the fish, then the fish do it for you. Or, I forget how that saying goes, but it's something like that. But there it is. That's that question of the week. Once again, if I've beaten a dead horse here, if you want to be the question of the week, the KylePetersonShow@gmail.com or put it in the comments down below. Don't forget Patreon, all that kind of fun stuff. A lot of stuff to check out. Hopefully you enjoyed my story or I bared my soul. I hated to do it. I didn't want to tell anybody, but here I am, just tragically disfigured here for the holidays. What's Santa going to say when he sees me this year when I sit on his lap? He's going to be like, Kyle, you're not that young, spry boy I remember.
He's going to kiss it.
Hopefully he does. So who knows? But Angie, what did we learn today?
Oh, no, not
what
this.
did we learn
Not
today?
this.
Putting Angie through her paces. Do it, Angie. What did we learn?
John Carver.
Okay, John Carver. It's wild how we do this whole show and you forget everything.
Your Cool Whip. Basically theft.
No theft. I paid.
I can't believe turkey's your favorite and it's my least.
Yeah, that's
I never
true.
really thought about that.
That's true.
The band, how I need to watch that.
Yep. What was the album called? It's amazing you do all this show prep and you don't remember it all. You spent a whole week prepping for this.
Oh, we had pie.
And we learned about pie.
I was supposed to say more.
Well, no, I figured you would recap the whole episode for us.
Let me look here. I think I said everything.
I think you did. You forgot the top, though. You forgot about my poor diagnosis and having to nurse me back to health.
I'm trying to just put the aside.
Yeah, you are. You were hoping I was going. She was
No,
like,
I wasn't.
she's like, let's make sure we get all these affairs in order. I want to see what kind of inheritance and I want to see what's in your 401k. Please give me access to that. And then you said, what is your company's life insurance like? That was the other thing you were asking me too. So,
but I'm very like tough in that situation. I'm like, okay, let's fix it. Let's do it. Like I'm very like, I don't get emotional until it's like I really have to.
She didn't shed one tear for me.
I keep it level-headed.
Not one tear.
But I would be like that with the kids. I would be like that with a lot of it.
And you think
that's
the
just how
kids?
my brain works.
You think the kids cared at all?
Yeah,
They didn't. They said, "Oh man, that's too bad. Hey, are we still going to the K-pop store tonight?" That's what they said. Are we gonna still go there, even though Dad could stay home? And I was like, "Oh, you've got to be kidding me here. You've got to be kidding me." Oh, well, there it is, Angie. Another episode of the books, episode 35. A tough one to do, but I powered through. I didn't want to.
Are you hot in the sweater?
No, not really.
Oh, that's good.
My Motorhead Christmas sweater. 'Tis the season.
We did turn the heat up a little bit. So
Yeah,
I could get a little naked.
We had some requests, Angie.
Yeah.
People are saying you're wearing too much clothes, but
I got
once
the girls
again,
out today with the arms.
Angie does what she wants to do. I can't force her to do anything. Trust me, I needed her to really baby me a little bit more than she did, and she wasn't going to stand up and do it.
Nope.
No, she wasn't going to. But that's the way it goes, Angie. But here it is, episode 35, the Thanksgiving special. I hope everybody out there is watching or listening to this has a good Thanksgiving. If you celebrate, obviously it's not the whole world that celebrates. We got a big Cambodian audience that I brought in with the Cambodian tape from McFarland. So shout out to the Cambodians out there. Do what you got to do for Thanksgiving. But everybody else, hopefully everybody has a good Thanksgiving, full of fun and all that kind of stuff. And cherish life, everybody. You just never know when it's going to be your last moment. Something like that, maybe. I don't know. And ring that bell at Long John Silver's every time if you can. Just pretend. It just makes you feel better. Maybe ring it for me just one time. Your old buddy Kyle. That's what I would say. But there it is, episode 35. Angie, tell everybody goodbye in your own special way and make it special. It's Thanksgiving after all.
Oh, we never even addressed the lights. Can you even see them?
Not really.
I put some Christmas lights up. But...
Just getting festive. But Angie, in your own special way, tell everybody goodbye.
Goodbye, everyone.
Oh, that was real special. You can do better than that. Come on.
I got nothing.
She's got nothing.
I got nothing.
Okay.
Bye.
Well, are we gonna dance or are we gonna play?